This presentation is brought to you by the Beljanski Foundation. Over 50 years of research towards curing cancer the natural way.
Thank you, everybody. So, you're here today to learn a little bit about ozone. We have just about enough time for me to say hello. My name is Dr. Howard Robbins. I do intravenous ozone therapy, and thank you very much for coming. Goodbye. But I'm going to try to give it to you in a nutshell, enough information so that you can decide whether you might have more interest in this, and where to go to get more information is being handed you right now. Because even in 20 minutes, while I can tell you enough about it, you may want to know and get a lot more. So there are resources that you can use to get it from. For those of you that are scientists, you can go to our National Library of Medicine, pubmed.gov. That's our National Library of Medicine. You have to type, as it says on those sheets that are being handed out to you, Intravenous Ozone Therapy, all three words. And then you're going to see that there's about, in any given month, 80 published studies from around the world, translated into English, from languages I can't read, maybe you can. And it's a very studied medicine because it's been around now for over 70, in what I call the modern ozone era, for over 70 years in over 50 countries, being used daily by tens of thousands of physicians in hospitals and clinics around the world. So very studied there. Also, there's a documentary movie done on it called Ozone Therapy, the Miracle Medicine, the title of the lecture. And you can go to GaryNull.com, GaryNull, like null and void, GaryNull.com. And you're taken to a website that says Gary's Vitamin Closet, and then you type it, you click products, then you click DVDs, and then go alphabetically for the one he did on this, and you'll learn all about it from A to Z. You'll see in a few of the video clips what it looks like being done. And all 45 plus patients on there are my patients, and they're telling you how well it worked for all their different medical conditions. And the range is amazing when you see the range of it. Now, we've been doing intravenous ozone therapy. At the end of December of this year is 28 years. Close to 300,000 treatments performed. And let's keep something very clear. This is New York State. This isn't the third world country. I can kill you with a pharmaceutical, but if you hurt one person with ozone, you're out of business. So safety is extremely important here. We take no risks with anybody. We don't accept patients we don't believe or be able to be helped. It's as simple as that, because we see so many now. I train doctors from around the world. I have patients from around the world, which also includes the US. So we've developed methods that are not only safe, but obviously, if you're doing so much of it for so long, extremely effective. And ozone's range of benefits is a problem. It's a serious problem. Because when I first heard about it, it's the same as when I speak with traditional doctors about it. Sounds too good to be true. And generally, the rule is, if it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true. This is the exception, apparently, that made it the rule when you hear that cliche. Because when ozone, which is a gas, not a liquid, when we fill the syringe up and we push some into your blood, it destroys every virus, every fungus, every yeast, every mold, every bacteria, parasite, every toxin, and every harmful free radical in your body. It doesn't create harmful free radicals. It's actually a free radical scavenger, which is kind of weird because it's an oxidative process which generally causes free radical formation that can be harmful. Well, it works differently. And it scavenges harmful free radicals. For example, carbon monoxide. When you combine carbon monoxide, CO plus O3, you get CO2 plus O2, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, which you can breathe out. So it gets rid of that. And once you did the chemistry, you stop, you go, wait, maybe this isn't so dangerous. Maybe. And you say it does all these things? Well, I don't say anything. It's been proven internationally that it does all these things and more. It has fact, in all these years, we've only had 9 patients that developed a temporary rash, so I stopped treating them. They might have been purging something, it's hard to say. But fact is, New York, I don't take chances. So if 9 patients out of thousands of patients, hundreds of thousands of treatments, it's probably safer than anything you ate for breakfast today. Okay? Now, going on, it does have side effects, and you're going to get them, and you'll notice them if you need them. Hair and nails grow longer, stronger, healthier, and faster. I turned 70 this year. I don't dye my hair. Okay, you don't dye your hair either, but that's besides the point. Okay? And no one in my family has a full head of hair because it does retard the aging process. I lectured in Malaysia in 2013 at an Anti-Aging World Congress seminar showing how ozone retards the aging process. But that's not why people come to us. They come to us usually because whatever they were trying didn't work. They've tried everything, and now they're at their last hope that there is a medicine out there that can work. And don't think less, ozone is medicine. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So side effects include hair and nails growing longer, stronger, healthier, and faster. Skin taking on a healthier look because it helps get rid of all sorts of skin problems. People fall asleep easier, sleep better, need less sleep, so it helps sleeping disorders. More energy all day long, so you get more stamina and endurance and overcome fatigue. I see a lot of athletes who get great workouts in the gym right after a treatment. It acts as a painkiller. It acts as an anti-inflammatory. And then recent work done in Europe, studies are showing that it now something we knew clinically is being explained scientifically. It stimulates the body to make abundant amounts of natural stem cells. So you may not need to do stem cell therapy because this is already doing it in a natural way in your body. And that's why I call it sometimes doing things that are unbelievable. It repairs the unrepairable and fixes the unfixable, as I call it. It has circulation benefits. It makes the red blood cells rounder so they flow smoother, easier, and less viscous, and more flexible so it can slip through narrowed, clogged, or hardened arteries better. Getting medicines and other nutrients you're taking and oxygen in to make energy. There's more. I mean, it's why I said it sounds too good to be true. It's a real problem. We see a lot of late-stage Lyme patients, and we're hoping that some research is going to be done now and that this could turn it into standard of care medicine. I only have 2 goals in life. One I will tell you. The other one I'm almost embarrassed to say out loud, so I say privately. And that is to make this standard of care medicine in this country within the decade. And if I said that on stage 3 years ago, I might have passed out from laughter. But now I can say it because this may actually happen. Okay? I'm planning on teaching at a medical school in Aruba. We're developing a curriculum for it there that's being approved. Hopefully very shortly. We'll be teaching it to the doctors that are going to be schooled there, as well as on the internet, to doctors who want to take the course. And I'm hoping to be put on medical school staff in Varadero in Cuba. I presented a year ago in November to the heads of research there, and they have ozone therapy in 120 clinics around the country. They do ozone for 40 years in Cuba because it's affordable for an extremely poor country, but they don't use the methods that we use here, my method particularly, of the Marabin's method, direct IV, which could change the whole thing. So for the Pueblo de Cuba, the people of Cuba, this could be a major, major way of saving a country millions upon millions of dollars in medicine that they can't afford, and help people get well over problems, medical problems and conditions that are previously felt untreatable, or not untreatable, but unhelpable, that you can't rid your body of them. This country is very litigious, so if you don't try to get me to use the C word, cure, because that's a promise and a guarantee to a result. And morally and ethically, doctors should never promise or guarantee results. Even if we saw 10,000 patients with your exact same problems, you never know what's going to happen on 10,001. So no doctor should ever do that, nor do we. But we don't accept anyone as a patient unless we believe we can make a difference. And everybody has to speak to me personally before you're allowed to make an appointment to come in. Because I don't want to waste your time coming in with a problem we can't help. Worse, I don't want to waste my time even more than I don't want to waste yours. So we make sure that you have problems that we feel we can really make a difference in your life for. And that's very important. In addition, we see patients, I'm going to try to give you a range of conditions. Let's start with something we hopefully no one in this room will ever see. So in 2014, in October, my buddy Dr. Robert Rowan, my blood brother, and I, by invitation of Dr. Ernest Bai Karoma, the president of the West African country Sierra Leone, invited us to come and train their doctors in my method of ozone therapy to treat Ebola. And it was successful. I'm not going to go into the stuff that happened with Big Pharma and the WHO that tried to suppress it, but we were able to save the life of several doctors who contracted Ebola in the Ebola Center, and we published in the only journal that we could get, which is actually a pretty good journal, the African Journal of Infectious Disease, which is a peer-reviewed medical journal. And the bigger journals are controlled by Big Pharma, if you ask me, and we couldn't get our publication in because we're not a teaching institution in big names. We also presented at the Cleveland Clinic a year ago in June. Why? I saved the life of one of the principals there. And because I saved the life of one of the principals there, he got the heads of research at the Cleveland Clinic, you know the Cleveland Clinic, right? To allow us to make the presentation. And now some of the problems that on a study on chronic fatigue that they want to do are being held up because the machines we use are German and you have to get INDs on them, which is independent. You got to get FDA approval for the machines to be used medically. So that's become an issue. Put aside the money that they need to raise and everything else for it, which seems to be less of an issue for the Cleveland Clinic, which is gigantic, very impressive place. So these are the things that are happening. And along with Lyme disease benefit treatment, that may turn this into standard of care medicine. Rheumatoid, all the autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, sarcoidosis, lupus. Ozone has been phenomenal in helping not improve, but get rid of it. You know, you can't use the C word, but I choose to use get rid of something permanently, completely, once and for all. That's the closest I'll give you. And people don't come to us to get better. They come to us to get rid of their problems permanently, completely, once and for all. Now, more good news. So far, I haven't given you any bad news, but I'm going to give you more good news. Well, children, I'm going to say this because I think it's important. The youngest I've ever treated was 4 years old. I have to be able to get a vein. And they have to sit still. And so the youngest we've ever treated was 4 years old. Prior to that, it was my daughter who was 5 when I first treated her. Now she's 37. The oldest, 93, only because nobody older came in. So age doesn't matter, sex, nothing matters except that you have a medical problem and we can get a vein in you or get a PICC line and we can treat you that way. No questions. They asked me not to take questions. So now, moving on. The therapy is compatible with any pharmaceutical that you're currently on or may suddenly need to take in an ER situation. So you can take any pharmaceutical you want. You don't have to worry about an interaction that's negative, okay? You don't have to ask permission. But it may be a way, and you can do it while you're doing the therapy, but it's a way to wean yourself off pharmaceuticals. Because as we get you well, you don't need as much medicine or any at all. And we work with your primary care physician for those problems and let them wean you off it. We don't have to do it all. So we're not taking you away from the doctors who you may know and trust who've kept you alive up until now. In addition, it's compatible with any nutraceutical. Vitamins, or if you want to call it nutraceutical, a different letter, it's the same thing. Vitamins, minerals, herbs, supplements of all kinds. Take whatever you like. They either work synergistically or they don't get in the way of each other working. You could be on any diet you want to be on or any livet you want to be on. I said that before Richard Simmons. Okay? You could be on any livet that you want to be on. You can do any other therapy that you want to do along with it. In fact, if you do a lot of the things that are being offered out there, they will work synergistically and you'll get well faster. You'll need fewer treatments with me. And believe me, the faster we get rid of you as a patient isn't fast enough for both of us. We don't lack patience, and the faster you can get people well is a wonderful thing because then they tell their friends and it just drives more and more people to you because you got them well quicker. So I'm in favor of doing all these other things if you can afford to do them. Do them. It's a wonderful thing to do. Improve your health and get well. And the key is to grow old and be well. It's not about growing old. It's not about growing old. It's about growing old and being well so that in the last decades of your life, you can enjoy the time off. You can enjoy your life a little more. So you're going to see and learn that it gets rid of all viral infections of all kinds, from herpes to, love may come and go, but herpes is forever. Only in countries that don't do ozone therapy or doctors that don't know that that's so. 2 out of every 3 new patients, I keep mentioning Lyme, are Lyme patients. I think Lyme is the most serious infection in this country. It's mistaken for heart problems, lung problems, kidney problems, because it infects every organ in your body. And candidiasis, yeast overgrowth in the intestinal system. We fix all these things because it can fix all these things. That is what the ozone therapy is doing. And it's not a guided missile when it enters your blood. There is no average, typical, or usual number of treatments that it may take to get rid of anything in anyone. And I would know because I've done more than almost all the several hundred doctors in North America collectively. So fact is, it could take 20 treatments or less, and we sit there like deer in the headlights going, I can't believe I got rid of this. I've had it for 20 years so quickly. Or it could take 200 or more, God forbid, but it's happened. Or it could take any number in between, which is most common. We get our ozone miracles, we get what seems like our life's work, and then the majority of the patients get well within a reasonable amount of time. The good news is, in a very short time, by 36 to 48 treatments in almost every case, if it's going to work, you notice benefits. You don't have to do thousands of treatments to go, it didn't work. I took this supplement for 10 years and it's supposed to get rid of my problem, but it didn't do anything. No, within a short time, you know it's actually eliminating your problem permanently, completely, once and for all. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me or come to my booth. And I thank you all very much for the time.